In a day and age where the sports media landscape is overloaded with fake tabloids and hot takes designed just for clicks, one show cuts through the chaos with pure, unfiltered honesty. From the End to the Bench Network, this is Givin Takes. Every week we go beyond the hype to explore the sports world, tackling the most relevant topics on the board while grinding through our starting nine. So, sit back, relax, and get ready for some real perspectives. Now, here's your host, Nate Miller.
It's Givin Takes, everybody, and it's live. Hello, sports fans. Welcome back. I'm Nate Miller, and this is Givin Takes, the online sports show, where every week I sit down with you guys and talk about sports, and now it's live. It's crazy. I got a screen here. I got one computer over here. I got another computer over here. I feel all professional now. It's great. We're live. Not live on my YouTube at the moment. Had some issues getting it to stream there, but we're live all over Twitter. We're live on the MLB the Bench Network. We're streaming. It's a great time. Already a bunch of people in here. I'm absolutely loving it. And some of you have probably watched my show before. Some of you have not. To those of you who have not, hello. I'm Nate Miller. I'm here. I like to talk about sports very consistently. Big Pittsburgh guy, as you can see by the backdrop right now. But yeah, it's fantastic. I'm really excited to get to talk to all of you. And if you want to follow me on socials, my personal is just I'm Nate Miller. You see that all at the bottom. At Givin Takes on both Instagram and TikTok is where you can find all my show stuff. And for those of you who watch consistently, as you may have noticed, there was no episode last week. And that's because that's whenever I was making the transition from this being a studio recorded show to a live show. So now that this is officially a live show, I wanted to make it like, a good debut. Because last Monday, I knew this was going to be a Monday night, 9:30 p.m. thing. Last Monday was Memorial Day. And I was like, doesn't really make sense to start Memorial Day. You lovely sports fans are out there celebrating. I was out there enjoying my Memorial Day as well. So there was no episode last week. We moved it to this week. And now we're here. And it's very fun to be here. So we are going to get going here in just 1 second with our starting nine. It's going to be a very fun starting nine today. A lot of good stuff to talk about because, what a week in sports it has been. Because we're going to cover a lot today throughout all of the four major sports. Stanley Cup finals have been going on. Not finals, playoffs have been on. That's been, you got everything in the NBA with the MLB, and there's football talks now that are all great. There's so much to talk about, so much to do. So we're just going to right now get into the starting nine. I'm going to try to get it up here. I'm new at using this platform, so there will be ups, there will be downs, but every week I do this, I'm going to consistently try to get better at it. I'm trying to add the starting nine to the screen. I think it's getting up there. Slowly but surely. We're trying. It doesn't want to add to the screen. So the graphic's not going to be on the screen. No, now it is. All right, there we go. Like I said, guys, first live show, first time I'm doing this. There will be kinks to iron out, but we'll get better as we go. So leading off in our starting nine this week, we're going to be talking about the Western Conference Finals. The Spurs and the Thunder just battled it out in 7 in what I believe was such a good series, not only in terms of everyone's play, but also the discourse that ensued because of it just around basketball. And then after that, we're going to stay within the NBA and preview the finals a little bit. I'll give you my takes on Spurs versus Knicks. I think it's going to be a fantastic finals. Most excited I've been for the NBA finals in quite a long time. Then in our 3 spot, we're going to be talking about the Stanley Cup Finals. We're going to be previewing that. The Vegas Golden Knights, who have just been a dominant franchise One of the best, probably the best expansion team of all time up to this point, going up against the Carolina Hurricanes, who have just really struggled in the Eastern Conference Final in recent years. They finally got over the hump this year, and they're in the big dance. Then for the fourth topic, cleanup topic, I'm going to be giving out awards for the month of May in the MLB. I did this a couple episodes on Givin Takes ago, and I did it for April, and now it's June 1st. Happy June, everybody. That means we get to go back and look at everyone who succeeded within the month of May, give them their flowers. Then for our fifth topic, if you've been paying attention to the news today, you know there have been a lot of moves in the NFL today, a lot of faces in new places, big names going across the league, some leaving the league that we're going to talk about. A lot of big stuff going on there. And then we're going to do the sixth topic, which is the MLB Standings Check In. I'm going to go through all 6 divisions, look at all the teams real quick, give you a couple sentences, couple quick thoughts on how I feel about each team. Do that real quick. And then the 7th topic, every week I do it. If you're new here, I'll explain it to you. It's the State of the Union. I love doing the State of the Union every week. It's when I take a team and just that's not doing great right now. I just kind of break them down. I ridicule them a little bit. I poke fun because if you're on the State of the Union, you're not doing too well. And the Cubs, they've won a couple games as of late. They've been better in their latter half of the series against the Pirates and the series against the Cardinals. But before that, they're coming off a 10-game losing streak. They slid all the way down to 4th in the division. They need to be talked about. Because I also try to keep it fresh. I don't want to talk about the same teams on the State of the Union super consistently. Like I very easily could have picked on the Tigers for being the worst team in baseball. But I did that last episode. So we're switching over to talking about the Chicago Cubs. And then in the 8th topic, it is my 3 studs of the week. I give you a small stud, I give you a medium stud, and I give you a big stud. Just 3 players who throughout the week of Major League Baseball, I thought had good performances. And then 9th, it's going to be a new subject, new topic, I guess you would call it, because I'm live now. It's your takes. If you're watching, if you want to comment, this is live. You can send in just if you got a take about sports, take about your team, take about life, take about food. I don't care what it's about. If you have a take about anything, drop it in there. I'll go through, I'll read some off, and I'll talk about them whenever we get to the 9 hole. And then finally, I do it every week. It's the top 10. I got a good top 10 this week. I'm excited to get to it. However, we're not getting to it yet. Not that we're not getting to it yet. I'm not going to tell you the topic yet. You got to wait until the end of the episode to figure out the topic. So without further ado, that is the starting 9. And we're going to get into our first topic over here, which is, need to get it up here. There it is. The Western Conference Finals recap. Like I said, I'm going to look a little bit foolish a couple times trying to go through and remember how to do all this. But like I said, I'm new. You guys are going to have to bear with me. I really enjoyed the Western Conference Finals. I mean, I'm not, as you guys know, I've talked about it. I'm not the biggest NBA fan necessarily. Like, there's no Pittsburgh team, so I have no, like, affiliation that like I really root for city-wise. I have some players that I like, but for me personally, I just don't enjoy the NBA that much. But come playoffs, obviously, like I'll most definitely watch. So for the playoffs this year, as you all know, who have watched, I picked the San Antonio Spurs to win the West. I had them in 7 against the Thunder. A lot of people told me like, no, you're crazy, Thunder, whatever. I was right. And I think it's because a lot of people just kind of, I don't know if it was hyping up the Thunder too much or just like not necessarily disrespecting the Spurs, but not really believing that in a lot of these guys' first playoff run, they can just go out and win the West. But like I was hell bent on that happening. Like I was dying on that hill. So when the playoffs started, I was already invested in, I really want the Spurs to win the West. Like if you watch Unnecessary Wagers, another show I'm on Empty the Bench Network, you know, from talking with my co-host Connor Rowland, I was very hot on the Spurs all season, and I was betting on them a lot in the postseason. So not only did I have money on them to try to root for them to win, but I also just really wanted them to take down the Thunder. I really like Victor Wembanyama as a player. He's fun to root for, and just all that combined, going into the Western Conference Finals, I knew it was going to be a great series. And I mean, talk about game one, double overtime game one, Wemby hitting that deep three, the Spurs taking game one on the road. Like when the Spurs took game one on the road, I felt like, all right, these guys got to go 1-1 in Oklahoma City for games 1 and 2 to have a chance. And realistically, for me, that was losing game one, winning game two. They did it reverse. And something about them doing it like in reverse like that just like made me a little bit more confident in them to actually be able to go out and win the series, because it's not like I was fully confident, like, oh, I know the Spurs are going to win this series going into this. Like I was scared. Like I thought the Thunder probably would win, but like, because I thought I was thinking with my heart and just like, I really want to see the Spurs win, but that's not how it went down. Like Oklahoma City, they won game two, and then they won game three, and then, you know, the Spurs brought the Nuns out game four. I don't think they lost either game where the Nuns were there, game four and game six. They won both of those. They lost game five, but Oklahoma City was up 3-2, and I've said this on other shows I've talked on too. I thought the Wemby that we were going to see in this series was going to be like a Wemby we haven't seen before. Like I just thought he was going to take it to another level, whether it be just a mixture of how he's played this season and the fact that he trained with Monks this offseason, which just felt like he unlocked just like this new mental part of his game and just a new drive. And I also said that I thought the fact that Oklahoma City didn't have that pure drive and desire to get where they've never been before, like the Spurs do and Wembanyama did with getting to the finals, I thought that was going to fuel the Spurs a little bit more. And I think it did, because you see after the fact how emotional Wemby was, like how much this truly meant to him. Like he really was emotional about this. And I think it's because he wanted to get to the finals so bad. He had never been there before. And then when he finally got there, like just all emotion broke loose. And now they obviously have to go up against the Knicks, which is going to be a fantastic series. But it was also really interesting in this Western Conference Finals, everything with the concept of like foul baiting. That was a big topic of discussion throughout this whole thing, because I mean, let's all be honest with each other. Okay. We saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fall down way too much. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. Like there was like a 2-minute compilation that I saw that was like just Shai falling down on shots where he didn't really get contact made with him in the finals. I mean, that's not, people throw around the word ethical a lot recently when talking about basketball. That's not really ethical. I mean, you should be trying to go to the hoop. Like, and granted, trying to draw some contact while you're going to the hoop, get yourself an extra foul shot or 2 foul shots if you miss. Yeah, that's an important part of the game, and you should be able to do that and exploit other defenses who are playing poor defense to get those foul shots. But it shouldn't be every single time you go down the floor, you're hitting into someone, you're falling down. Every shot you take, you're falling on your ass or you're slip sliding all around trying to draw contact. I mean, not only does that not feel ethical, but as a basketball fan, I hate watching that. Like, it's not like I have any specific like beef with any players on the Thunder, but just like the way I watch them play basketball sometimes, where it's just all this flopping and whining. It's not a product I wanted to see go that far in the playoffs. Like, I didn't want to see that quality of Thunder team going to the finals, because I didn't want to see them be rewarded for how they were playing. So I'm happy with San Antonio really just playing like hard and well and just really good, like standard fundamental basketball, like how it should be played. And that was able to take down the 1 seed and the very feared and, oh, they might three-peat Oklahoma City Thunder. Everyone was talking about them maybe winning the next 2 championships after they got off to their hot start this season. I mean, the Spurs took them down. They don't have a chance to go back-to-back anymore, because it'll be the Spurs and the Knicks in the finals. And that feels like a good time for me to end that first topic, which was the Western Conference Finals recap, and switch over now to our second topic, which is my NBA Finals preview. I am really looking forward to this NBA Finals. Also, something you'll learn about me, new Givin Takes watchers, drink a lot of water on this show. My mouth gets dry very easily when I talk this much. You'll see me go through a lot of water on this show. But it's time to talk about the NBA Finals. I mean, Spurs-Knicks, repeat of the 99 Finals, which was the last time the Knicks made it. I mean, it's almost like poetic like that. I mean, the Knicks have been so close for so many years now, like the last, like, I'd say 3 or 4 years, they've been like in the mix and people thinking like, is this finally when the Knicks get back? And this is the year they finally do it. And of course they go up who they faced last time. I love how things work like that in sports, but I think this is going to be a really good series. Like just gut reaction. If like off the top of the head, if you had to ask me, what's the series final score? I'd probably give you Spurs in 6. I mean, the way I see it going is San Antonio wins game 1 at home. They probably bring out the nuns. The crowd's going to be absolutely electric. I don't think Wemby's going to lose his first finals game. It's just nothing's looking great for the Knicks in game 1. The Spurs win game 1. I think the Knicks win game 2, and we're tied at 1 after the first 2 because the Spurs haven't really got off to that hot of a start in any series so far. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was 1-1 against both Portland and Minnesota in both of those series. So I don't see the Spurs just going up 2-0 against a better team than those. So Spurs probably split at home, and then they probably split in New York as well. And then I think the Spurs win the last 2 because something about this series, it just feels like it's going to end at MSG, something about it. And I don't think it's going to be because the Knicks get swept. I think they're a good enough team to take 2 games. I mean, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges. I think Mitchell Robinson's going to be out, though, with a broken pinky, which is it's definitely going to hurt the Knicks. I mean, I think they would much rather have Mitchell Robinson out there than not have him. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But nonetheless, I think they were behind the 8 ball still, even with him. This just, makes them a little farther behind the 8 ball. So honestly, I do think Knicks in 6 is a pretty decent bet, or Spurs in 6 is a pretty decent bet. Because also, like, even though they're playing on the 8 ball, we do have to give credit to the Knicks. Like, they are a good team, and the Spurs have not been really that dominant at any point in the playoffs. They have been better than everyone they've faced, but I wouldn't say they've been like dominant chokehold, like you just got massacred by the Spurs. I mean, I know Wemby had the concussion in the first round of the playoffs, or like the concussion symptoms. So that like kind of messed with his ability to play in that series. And that was part of the reason why I believe they went 5 against the Trailblazers. But nonetheless, it's also just hard for me to see the Knicks going down 2-0. I mean, I just don't see it happening. It very well could, though, but they're going to win. They're going to win at least 1 game at MSG. They're not getting swept. Like I cannot envision a world where the finals finally gets back to MSG and they don't win one. Like, I just think the odds of that are so low. So call it Spurs in 5, call it Spurs in 6, but I'm pretty confident in saying that the Spurs are going to win this series. Cause I mean, Victor Wembanyama, I mean, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. We're seeing a version of him right now that like we've never really seen before. I mean, the raw emotion, which was so like refreshing to see, honestly, for me. I mean, when you think about like how many times nowadays guys just like act like they've been there before when they haven't, like they just don't show like the raw emotion, like screaming like Wemby did when they accomplish it. Like they look happy, like, but I think too many people try too hard to look cool when they win now. And Wemby just kind of let it all out, which I thought was really, really refreshing to see. I don't feel like you see that level of emotion too often in sports anymore, like across any of the 4 major North American sports, just like that raw passion. Yes, we did it. So it was very refreshing to see that. And I'm also just rooting for the guy. I think Wemby's going to probably end up top 10 all time, at least if he continues on this trajectory. So it's kind of fun to see his young career take off. And now we're going to move on to our next topic. Moving into the third topic, we're going to preview the other finals that are going on right now, the Stanley Cup Finals. It is the Vegas Golden Knights, who, as I said earlier, they are, like, I don't think it's crazy to say they are the best expansion team of all time. I mean, especially given how, like, little time they've been in the league, like they've just consistently been so good. I mean, 2018, they made the finals. 2023, they won the finals. Now the Vegas Golden Knights are back here in 2026. Like, you're talking about like two polar opposite last decades for franchises. Because, I mean, this is, I think, the 9th season of the Golden Knights. So we're creeping in on a full decade of them. And if you look at where the Hurricanes have been, I mean, you're talking about a team that has been so close so many times, trying to get to the dance, trying to get past the Eastern Conference Finals. And they've come up short so many times recently. And now they finally do it. Like, they finally, I won't say it was like easy for them. Like, I'm definitely not going to go out and say, oh, Carolina had like a cakewalk to the finals. Like, that's not at all what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to say is the fact that they finally didn't have to face like a powerhouse monster threat in the Eastern Conference Finals in order to get where they wanted to go. They got to face the Montreal Canadiens, who, granted, deserved to be there. I mean, they took down two tough teams, in my opinion, in both Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Like, Montreal damn well earned their spot in that Eastern Conference Finals, but they were just not as good as Carolina. I don't think anyone really thought they were as good as Carolina. So whenever they got the draw and not Buffalo, I think Buffalo would have been a little tougher for Carolina, but still not too tough. I think Carolina was the best team in the East. Or actually, I lied. I thought Buffalo was the best team in the East. But Carolina was definitely a strong number 2 there. The only team I thought they could take down was Buffalo, or that could take them down was Buffalo. They didn't even have to play them. They had to play Ottawa and then Philadelphia and then Montreal. So I'm not trying to discredit their path to the finals. I'm just saying it is refreshing that they got, they didn't have to go up against someone absolutely insane. So then that begs the question, who do I have winning? Do I have the Las Vegas Golden Knights winning, or do I have the Carolina Hurricanes winning? And to be honest, that's part of the reason. I still don't even know, really. Like, I tried to write it down earlier and be like, this is who I think it was, but I keep talking myself into both sides being able to win it all, which is really frustrating because, I mean, they're two very good, evenly matched teams. And if you watch Unnecessary Wagers, a lot of the time I like to say I'm torn on something. Like, I'm just torn. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm torn. I definitely think this series is going 7. That thing's for sure, because I think it's going to be such a tight race that I feel like it has to go 7. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with I made the decision here live on Givin Takes. I got the Canes in 7. I think this is kind of like a David versus Goliath story, I guess, in terms of like how the last 10 years of your franchise has been, or I guess the only 10 years if you're the Vegas Golden Knights. But you're talking about a team that's won a cup, been to the cup, seen almost nothing but playoff berths and success. And then, like I just said, a team that has been just clawing to get there, really trying to reach the summit. Like, they've had really good teams in the past. They've had better teams in what I think was a more competitive Metropolitan division in probably the last 3 years. I think the Met was better, but because of that, they made the Carolina Hurricanes even better. And it always felt like they were running into Florida or Tampa Bay, who would ultimately go on to the Cup final. Because, I mean, in case you didn't realize, each of the last 6 years before, obviously, Carolina now, the East was won by a Florida hockey team. It was Tampa in 20, 21, and 22. And then in 23, 24, 25, it was the Florida Panthers. 6 straight years where a Florida hockey team won the Cup. So that's or not won the Cup, but advanced to the Cup. So that's also kind of crazy that Carolina was able to break up the the Florida Cup streak. So I think it's just the stars are all kind of aligning for them right now. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes. I got them winning the Cup in 7. If I could put my money on it, I would. I might, because game one doesn't start till tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So all these takes are still valid because, it hasn't started yet. But yeah, that's who I am going with. And now, with that out of the way, I know that was maybe a little bit less of a preview and more me kind of just working through who I was going to pick. But like at the same time, I mean, it's really tough. Like I started prepping for this like earlier this week. Like I haven't been able to make up my mind about it since the matchup was made. So I'm making up my mind here. It's Hurricanes in 7. And now we are going to be moving on to the fourth topic. We're going to be switching sports again, now going over to the MLB, and we are going to be doing the May Awards. So, in case you're unfamiliar with what the May Awards are, I'll let you know what those are now. I give out 6 awards every month. I've only done it 1 month up to this point, but this is the second time I'm doing it. I give out 6 awards every month across baseball. So one is the Mound Maestro Award. And that is to who's the best pitcher of the month. Who did I think orchestrated the most beautiful at-bats in the month? And then we got the big old Boomstick Award. We give the Boomstick Award out to the player who was the best power bat. I mean, if you're bringing the boomstick, you got power. We got to respect power. So we give out an award for that. And then we also give out an award to the other side of hitting, which is contact. That's the bat on ball award because, hey, just being able to put bat on ball and get a high batting average is something that's very valuable in this game. So we have to be able to respect it. And defense wins championships. We can't forget about that either. So we also give out the Diamond Defender Award. That goes out to the best fielder of the month. And then we recognize full teams as well, not just players. We give out the Top Dog Award. That award goes to who I believe was the best MLB team as a whole, like not just record-wise. Well, most of the time record will indicate it, but just as a whole, who was the best MLB team this season or this month? And then finally, we give out the Moneyball Award, which is just the moment that makes you sit back and just feel like, how can't you be romantic about baseball? Because how can't you? It's great. It's great. So we're going to be starting off with the Mound Maestro Award. And probably unsurprisingly to a lot of you, this award's going to be going to a man who pitches in the city of Philadelphia. That's right. It's Christopher Sanchez. I mean, Christopher Sanchez has had such an incredible month. I mean, I don't have beef with the Phillies as a Pirates fan. As a resident of Pittsburgh, I have, my general disdain towards the city of Philadelphia as, just as they do us. But man, like when I read you off Chris Sale's numbers for the month of May, like this is like video game stuff. I mean, I'll start by describing it to you like this. His ERA at the end of April, or his ERA in the month of April was 3.41. And then his ERA goes down to 2.42 after his game against the Athletics, then 2.11 after his game against Colorado, down to 1.82 after his game against Pittsburgh, 1.62 whenever he faced Cleveland, and then now it has gone all the way down to a 1.47 at the end of the month. And that's because he didn't give up an earned run or a run at all in the entire month of May. Yeah, 5 starts, all scoreless. This man pitched 79.1 innings this month. Didn't give up a run. 79.1 innings without a run. I mean, it's just truly remarkable. And he's only got 3 walks over this time frame, 95 strikeouts this month, a whip of 1.12. Opponents are batting 240 against him, which is like, I mean, it's not horrible. It's not amazing, but like, doesn't matter when you're not letting them score. They can be batting whatever. I mean, he has a complete game shutout. I believe that was against my Pirates. He went 4-0 in the month. His record's now 6-2. Or actually, sorry, some of those were his total for the year stats. He has 45 strikeouts this month, and it's still the 3 walks, but it's not 95 strikeouts this month. it's 45 strikeouts, and he only pitched 39 innings this month without giving up a run. Got my numbers a little bit mixed up there. But yeah, 39 innings pitched without a run. Nonetheless, it's still remarkable. And it's like, how long does this go on for? You know, I mean, how long is Christopher Sanchez going to keep this scoreless inning streak up? I mean, I'm very excited to continue to watch him just pitch and be amazing. But I also hate it because, you know, I'd like Paul Skeens to win the Cy Young and all, but I mean, man, like that race, I'm probably going to be talking about that more next week on the show. But the National League Cy Young race right now, when you think of Paul Skeens, Chase Burns, Jacob Mizorowski, Shohei Ohtani, Christopher Sanchez. I mean, I'll break it down more next week on the show, but that's going to be one of the best races I think we've seen in a long time for an award, just in terms of depth. But with what is a very competitive award this month to win, there were a lot of good options. I gave it to Christopher Sanchez. Now we're going to move on to giving out our second award of the month. We're going to be giving out the big old boomstick award. Someone who is a fantastic power hitter this month. And I'm going to give it to Kyle Schwarber. Now, I know Kyle Schwarber, like, as a full complete hitter, maybe not the best. You know, his batting average leaves something to be desired. But we're talking about power here. We're talking about straight, raw power. And he had it in the month of May when you look at these numbers. I mean, in the month of May, 11 home runs, 19 RBIs. He drew 9 walks, but he also, you know, he struck out 46 times. His on-base percentage is only .304. The average is .243. But over 25 games, he hit 11 home runs, 3 doubles, collected 25 hits in all, 19 RBIs. I'm pretty sure that 11 home runs in May led the league. And he as a whole, or like he as a player, leads the entire league in home runs as well. But when you talk about power, I mean, everybody digs the long ball, man. So I had to give it. I was thinking about giving it to Nick Kurtz because he's had a really good month of May as well, but he only had the 5 home runs. So I was like, man, this is the boomstick award. Like, I can't be giving it to someone with only 5 home runs, even if he's doing it in other facets of his game, you know? So I had to give it to Schwarber. It was very close. He had a little bit more, though. Congratulations to Kyle Schwarber. You win the award this month. And now we're going to move on to the Bat on Ball Award, Best Contact Hitter of the month. I'm giving it to Jonathan Aranda on the Tampa Bay Rays, who have been a very surprising team this year, in my opinion, because I'm not going to lie, the Rays kind of came out of nowhere for me. I didn't really expect them to be anything, let alone the best team in the American League. I mean, if you remember my MLB power rankings preseason, I had the Rays in just the tier of like, pack it up, better luck next year, like you're cooked. But no, in actuality, they have been very, very good. And a big part of that is Jonathan Aranda. I'll give you some of his numbers now. I mean, hit 374 in the month of May, an absolutely amazing batting average. I mean, hit damn near 400 in May, absolutely ridiculous. He had 91 at-bats. He collected 34 hits. His on-base percentage was .464. He struck out 24 times, drew 16 walks. He had 18 RBIs, 4 home runs, 5 doubles. And his OPS, if you want to factor in all those slugging numbers, takes you up to a 1.024 over the course of those 112 plate appearances in the month. I mean, that is just, talk about impressive. That's impressive. And I mean, it was kind of like how last month I gave it to Ildemaro Vargas, who was very deserving of it. He had that, I think it was like a 27-game hit streak, and he propelled, like him consistently being able to get on base, propelled what I thought was a mediocre team at the start of the season to a team that is now in a playoff spot. And the Rays are kind of drawing parallels to that. Like Jonathan Aranda, if he's not getting on base at this clip, like constantly presenting scoring chances for the Tampa Bay Rays offense, it's just not like they're not the same team, but he is almost always on base, just an extra base runner, gives you more runs. I don't need to dumb it down. You know how it goes. Contact helps. and he's doing a bang-up job at it. So I'm giving him the Bat on Ball award. And then we're now going to move on to the Diamond Defender Award. The Diamond Defender Award, as I said, is just who's the best defender this month. And I'm actually going to give it to the guy who I was going to give it to last month, but then I didn't end up giving it to him last month because I went with Bobby Witt Jr. But now this dude is still absolutely killing it. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to him. It's Randy Arozarena, left fielder on the Seattle Mariners. He's played 242 innings in left field this month. He's had 52 total chances and 52 putouts over the course of the 28 games he's played there. He's had he's just been consistent. I mean, it's not all about the flashy throws and the outfield assists, because take it from a guy who watches O'Neal Cruz play center field a lot. He's got a great arm. He's quick out there, but he's inconsistent. So honestly, the raw strength and power of the arm only does so much. But when you're able to consistently, be in one of those corner outfield spots, be a reliable guy, I mean, that just brings a lot of value to the team. And, 242 innings in a month without making a single error in left. I mean, we're in June now, and Randy Arozarena still doesn't have an error this season. So he's done it 2 months in a row. He's been very solid out and left. That's a 1,000 fielding percentage for those of you who care about that kind of stuff. There's still a decent amount of people in the league, or a lot of people in the league with a 1,000 fielding percentage. But when you factor in the total chances that those people have, I mean, Randy Arozarena he sticks out. So he is my Diamond Defender of the month of May. Congratulations to him. And now we're going to be moving on to the best team of the month. Who do I believe the best team in the month of May was? And if you notice a little bit of, call it disdain or maybe upsetness in my voice, well, that's because I unfortunately feel the need to give this to one of the Pirates' division rivals this month. And no, it is not the team I'm going to be scrutinizing here in a couple of topics. It's the people at the top of the division. It's the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, they've had an absolutely fantastic month. I mean, everything you could want out of a team right now has been Milwaukee. I mean, the NL Central is the toughest division in the league. I don't think there's really a question about that. I mean, we're in June now, and the last place Reds are still 30-29, a game over 500. I mean, we're talking about a division where every team is over 500 still in June. And it's not like it just happened either. It's not like, some teams were under 500 during May and then, they're back up now, and, everyone's at 500. They have all consistently been over 500 for the last, 2 months, it feels like. I mean, since the start of the season. I mean, the Pirates came really close to dipping down below 500. They had a couple times where I think they were 24-24 and then 27-27. So 2 times they could have gone below 500, but they didn't. I don't know if anyone will go under 500 in this division. This division just seems to be super consistent. But at the top of it all, with a 4.5 game lead, it's the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 35-21. That's a .625 winning percentage. They put up 268 runs this year, which honestly, when you compare it to the rest of the division, is kind of mediocre. And that puts them in third place, only 10 more than the Reds and 21 more than the Cardinals. My Pirates are actually leading that division with 301 runs. Not to brag, but, I will. And yeah, Milwaukee has a +74 run differential against teams that are better than 500. They're 23-12 this year. They're 8 games over at home. They're 19-11. And on the road, they're 6 games over. They're 16-10. So, everything Milwaukee has been doing recently, they've been doing well. So, because of that, they are going to be my what did I name the award? I forgot what I named my award. How can I do that? The Top Dog Award. Those guys are my top dogs of the month. And now we are moving on to our 6th and final award of the May Awards. I know this is a long topic, and we're going to be getting to the rest of the good stuff soon, but when the month of baseball is this long, like there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to go through. And like more baseball than anything else, I feel like with the amount of volume the amount of volume of games teams play every month, it's like it really feels like these player of the month awards mean something. Like when you look at a 17 game NFL season, like you're giving out like NFL awards like MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, like career defining awards for how people perform over 16 or 17 game stretches. All these people we're talking about in baseball are 30 like 20 some, 30 some game stretches. So it is very, very much like I think actual meaning, like actually meaningful to give out these Player of the Month awards, because the months themselves kind of feel like little mini seasons within baseball when you break down the stats. Like you see some guys like Kyle Schwarber, yeah, he's coming off a great May, but you look at him like just statistically in the month of June, like he's a very, very good June hitter. So, I mean, it's very, very cool. And with all that being said, we're going to give out the Moneyball Award now, the moment that makes you, say, how can you not feel romantic about baseball? And this is one that I found earlier that I wanted to talk about that I thought was pretty cool. Or not that I would say like it's pretty cool, but it's just like, given it's May, like I think this is just always a fun one to go with. And it's not really a moment because it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of a day, but it also has to do with the Pirates again. I think this was on Mother's Day and it was super, super cool. I know this went to the Pirates last year too, but I saw this during the Pirates game this month and I thought it was really, really cool. One of our starting pitchers, Braxton Ashcraft, and his wife are having a child. So I believe this was on Mother's Day. Like I said, I can't be sure. I might be mixing it up, but I'm pretty sure on Mother's Day, he went out to pitch. Joey Bart was catching, and then Joey Bart like lifted up his arm sleeve or something, and then the color of like his arm sleeve underneath it was like the gender reveal for Braxton Ashcraft's baby. So I thought that was really cool to kind of do that on the field. Like it's not like anyone knew it was happening like media wise or anything. It kind of just happened out there. It was a quiet moment, but I thought it was really cool because that's something that definitely, probably means a lot to both of their guys and the whole Ashcraft family. Like I think that's very, very cool. So, that made me feel warm and fuzzy about baseball, made me feel happy, made me feel good, thought it was cool. So I was like, heck yeah, that gets the Moneyball moment. So to recap the May Awards real quick, I'm going to let you know what they were in case you forgot and just put a nice little bow on it. It is the Mound Maestro. That went to Christopher Sanchez. The Big Old Boomstick. That went to Kyle Schwarber. And then Bat on Ball went to Jonathan Aranda. The Diamond Defender went to Randy Arozarena. Top Dog. Best Team. Those were the Milwaukee Brewers. And then Braxton Ashcraft's gender reveal via Joey Bart's arm sleeve on the field. That was the Moneyball moment. And with all that, that is the end of our fourth topic, the May Awards. And another big drink of water. I should start keeping a tally of how many times I paused for water. I put it in the corner of the screen. But we're going to move on to the fifth topic now. There's some big names on the move in the NFL. We're going to talk about the first blockbuster. Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jared Verse and a pick. I mean, that one was crazy. That was, I did not expect that going down this offseason. I mean, with how it seemed like Myles Garrett made it known he wanted to stay in Cleveland, like for the money, and he wasn't really about winning. Like I thought the Myles Garrett drama and all the rumors had passed, especially like with the Depoy year he was coming off of. Like the fact that the Browns like think they have something in Shedeur now, and they think they might I don't think, but they think they might be able to like do something this year. Like I thought the Myles Garrett would stick and try to be on that suffocating defense, like finally be a part of something in Cleveland, like that gets them somewhere. Yeah, I know they beat the Steelers in a playoff game, whatever. Yeah, I know it sucks. I remember, I'm still heartbroken about it. I haven't gotten over it, but all things being said, I'm very happy he's out of the division. It makes that Browns defense worse. It makes it easier, for my Pittsburgh Steelers to win a couple of divisional games. And also, this is going to be the first time I'll ever like not have to root against Myles Garrett because he's on a division rival. So that's kind of interesting. But also, I mean, wow, this Rams defense now with this Rams offense, I mean, what is this Rams team going to do this year, man? How good are the Rams going to be? I mean, they are going to be so fun to watch play football. Like I might watch every Rams game. I'm not a Rams fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I just think like when you think about like, betting on games or just watching games to see an entertaining football team, I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to be the most entertaining team in the league to watch. And I think we're going to be watching them in February as well. Yeah, I think this team is not a hot take at all. I mean, they're on paper right now. They are easily the best team in the NFC, but I'd go with the favorite right now after this move for sure, saying that the Los Angeles Rams win the NFC and probably the Super Bowl. Like I think Seattle got worse after winning the Super Bowl, especially with letting go of K9. I don't think they're going to win the division this year. I think they'll probably be in the wild card spot that LA was in this year. Maybe we see a rematch in the NFC Championship, but if we do see it, this one will be taking place in LA, not in Seattle. So, and then obviously I can talk about the other side of it too a little bit. Jared Verse is a very good defensive player, and the Cleveland Browns, I think we all remember, had a very good defense last year. Their offense was just absolutely putrid. So they still have a really nice piece that they added on defense in Jared Verse. I mean, it obviously sucks losing Myles Garrett, but I won't go out there and say the Browns got like catastrophically worse by doing this. I mean, it honestly probably freed up a little bit of cap space for them. I think Jared Verse is getting paid less than Myles Garrett. I can't say for sure, but I would have to imagine that's the case. So I think that is very interesting. And then the next trade, everyone knew this was coming. We were just waiting to get the news. A.J. Brown to the Patriots. Everyone was waiting for it to happen, and we're here, and it happened. So now we can talk about it. It all used to be, it was all theoretical up to this point, talking about all this A.J. Brown on the Patriots stuff. But now that we're here, we don't have to theorize about it. It is fact of the matter. I don't think it changes the Patriots that much. I mean, sure, they're better, but like how much better? I mean, if you have A.J. Brown on last year's Super Bowl team, do they beat Seattle? I don't think so. I still don't think they're able to beat that Seattle defense, even with A.J. Brown. So using it by that metric, I think that it makes their offense a little more versatile. Like you get another like veteran experienced catcher like you had with Stephon Diggs last year. You add A.J. Brown into that. But I don't think you're taking a huge step forward on offense. I mean, you're going to need to rely a lot on like the development of Drake May and the fact that your defense is going to hold up and be as suffocating and brutal to play against as it was last year. I mean, and let's be real too. I mean, this New England Patriots team got lucky having to face the Denver Broncos without Bo Nix in the AFC Championship, and those same New England Patriots barely beat them. Like a lot of things had to just go the Patriots' way with the fact that Jarrett Stidham was playing in order for them to win the AFC. So a lot of people could say Bo Nix doesn't get hurt. The Patriots aren't even in that dance. I'm one of those people. However, I do still think it's important to note that the Patriots are still a good team. They're not scrubs. I think this, like I said, doesn't make them much, much better, but it's a move that was smart for them to make. And on the Philadelphia side of things, I think it's going to be very interesting. You got Mekhi Lemon and Devontae Smith now. Those are going to be your two wideouts, your two explosive pass catchers. I'm excited to watch them work together. I think this is Devontae Smith's first time he's going to be able to be that true number one guy who's got experience. So I'm very interested to see what that does to the Eagles offense. And I think something that's going to actually need to happen in order for them to succeed on the pass game is the run game. Saquon needs to have a better year this year. The offensive line needs to be a little bit better because without the threat of Saquon just being able to bust out like a 10, 15-yard run at any point, like if he's having one of those types of seasons, it's going to be very, very tough for, teams to also be able to guard Lemon and Devontae Smith in the pass game. I mean, part of that is what made the Eagles so damn good the year they won the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 59, which was just 2 years ago. It's the fact that that threat of Saquon opened up so many possibilities in the pass game because everyone always had to be worried about Saquon. So if Saquon can be, that pest, that presence that's always there and looming that he could just bust out, that's going to help the pass game a lot. If he's not, I think they're going to be like the predictable Eagles offense they were last year, which made them into a very beatable team. And the next one is actually not a player going to a different team. It's actually a player leaving the league. And it's kind of sad for me. Russell Wilson. He's going to CBS to become an analyst. So basically, they never used the word retirement. They used like leaving the NFL, stepping away from the NFL. Like they worded it a couple different ways. I'm not sure why they didn't word it retirement. Maybe he wants to like try to take a year off and come back. I don't know what his plan is, but it would be sad, in my opinion, if this is the last we saw of Russell Wilson. Like if he was already gone, like he played his last NFL game already and we didn't even know it. I mean, for those of you who have watched some of my past episodes, like I wanted to see Russell Wilson on a team this year. I thought his presence, like on a team with a good defense that maybe like an Arizona Cardinals or a Minnesota Vikings, before they made the moves they made, like I thought Russell Wilson would have been good, a good fit on those teams. And I guess there was no fit for him on any team, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, he's a great quarterback. He had a great career. I'm guessing this is the end of it, and we're not going to see him on a football field again. If we do, I think that would be amazing, but it's kind of sad to see him go out. I got him in a year for Pittsburgh, which was cool to watch him play. Always loved his attitude. Very positive guy. Seemed like a very nice guy, fun guy to be around. And, he was dominant in that Legion of Boom era with the Seahawks. Those Seahawks teams were fantastic. And a lot of people remember the defenses, but Russell Wilson, he was throwing a very good football in those years too. He was an absolutely fantastic quarterback in Seattle. So it's sad to leave him lead the league. And then we got a couple of wide receivers who are joining the New York Giants, in case you didn't hear about that. Odell Beckham Jr. and Juju Smith-Schuster. Both of those guys are going to the New York Giants. Not like the biggest, most like blockbuster news. I just find it very interesting how the New York Giants are kind of just like consistently like stacking players right now. Like I like it. It makes like, I can't speak for Giants fans, but I have to assume Giants fans are probably pretty excited about all this. Right? I can't say for sure, but that's what I'd like to imagine. Not just because, all right, Odell Beckham Jr., yes, that's fun for nostalgia. It kind of reminds me a little bit of when Andrew McCutchen came back to the Pirates. I'm guessing this will probably be the last year of his career, but it's still cool that they, went out, signed OBJ. Like that's a nice move. And then adding Juju, I think it's another veteran receiver on your team, like another guy to have out there on the field. I won't say Juju Smith-Schuster is the most talented player by any stretch of the imagination anymore, but he was on a couple Super Bowl winning teams, or at least one. I don't know how many rings Juju has. It might just be the one, but he seems like he could be a good piece, like, good. If he has to be wide receiver three, maybe, a fourth wide receiver. I don't know where he'll fall on the depth chart for the New York Giants, but I do like the moves. I think it shows that the Giants are trying. And I think that for a long time, not that it's looked like the Giants haven't been trying necessarily, but it just in recent years, with Scatterbo and Dart last year, there was finally some life, I feel like, for the first time within the New York Giants fan base for a long time. But before that, it was just kind of like a high draft pick, like maybe not really panning out, maybe decent. The team still sucks. I mean, and there was all the trade talk and the drama that surrounded the team too, which I think was just horrible for it. I mean, you're talking about the Saquon Barkley trade, all the Brian Daboll drama with him being head coach, all the Daniel Jones drama with what they're going to do with him at quarterback. And then even last year when he was doing good on the Colts, like throwing that back at the Giants. When Saquon was doing great on the Eagles, throwing that back on the Giants. Like, there's been a lot of negativity going the Giants' way. And just something about, these little moves. They're signing some bigger names, whether it be to just sell tickets or they think it's actually going to improve the roster. I don't know. But I think it's very fun to see them out there making moves. I'm high on the Giants this year. I think they're going to be a very good, not very good, but I think they're going to be a competitive team this year, which would be for the first time in a while, and I think that's fun. So now that we've covered those 4 moves, we're going to move on to, not that. We are going to move on to, I don't have a banner for it at the moment. I guess I didn't make a banner for this one. It's going to be our MLB Standings Check In. We're going to be talking about that right now. And for that, I always have to edit in the photos of the standings as I talk about them. There we go. Got the banner. I can just put them up on the screen now and talk about, you can see them full screen as I talk about it. So, that's a fun new change. I'm liking that. So let's get it going. We're starting off in the American League East, as I showed you. Leading off, not leading off. I got into that like I was about to give you the starting 9. We're talking about standings here. At the top of the American League East, as you can see, it is the 36-20 Tampa Bay Rays, 643 winning percentage. They are a game and a half ahead of the New York Yankees, who sit at 36-23, tied with the Rays in wins. They've just played 3 more games, and those 3 extra games are all losses, unfortunately. So Yankees sitting at a game and a half back. That's still a tight division between those 2 teams. And then you kind of take a fall off for these bottom 3. The potentially competitive Blue Jays this year are currently 9 games back. They're 29-31 here at the start of June. And then you got the Baltimore Orioles, who I think are going to just kind of keep trending down. I don't think they're going to be that great this year. They're currently at 28-32, as you can see, 10 games back, ahead of only the Boston Red Sox down in last. They have not been having a great year. 8 games under 500 at the moment, 25-33. 12 games back of the Rays, 431 winning percentage. But hey, Red Sox fans, you're not as bad as some other teams in the American League. You're a bad team in the American League, but you're not one of the worst teams in the American League. We're going to move on now to the AL Central. In the top of this division, maybe not for that much longer, because now it's getting close. It's the Cleveland Guardians, who are 7 games over 500. They're 34-27. Now, they've played 2 more games than the white-hot White Sox. I mean, man, oh man, this team is playing phenomenally right now. They are currently 5 games over 500, 7-3 in their last 10. They have a phenomenal home record. Like, every time they play at home, it really does seem like they win the series that they're playing, regardless of who you put them up against. I mean, they had some tough series against the Cubs that they were able to win at home. And unfortunately, Murakami is out to injury at the moment. I believe it is 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. So that definitely hurts the White Sox a little bit, because the power he brings is extremely valuable. I mean, a rookie with 20 home runs, absolutely amazing. But the White Sox are right there, man. They're a game behind the Guardians. They played, as I said, 2 less games than the Guardians. The Guardians, in those 2 extra games, have won both. And then you take a fall off, a little mini cliff to the Minnesota Twins, who I, for one, am shocked are not last in their division yet. I thought they were going to be the worst team in baseball this year. That worst team in baseball is a little bit farther down the list. But, yeah, I always say it. There is nothing good about the Twins. I think poorly managed. I don't think their players are all that amazing outside of like Byron Buxton and, I mean, Royce Lewis of years past. has been good, but he's not really that anymore. I don't think he's on the major league roster anymore. I mean, it's just a lot of young guys trying to make names for themselves. The fact that they've hung around this long with like an about 500 record, I think is extremely impressive. And I think here in June and July, we see them begin to compete with Detroit and the Royals for the worst team in the division a little bit closer, because they're currently 4.5 games up on the Royals, who are the 4th place team in the division. They are 15 games under 500. I don't know how that happened. I thought the Royals were going to be decent this year. Not like great by any means, but not this bad, surely. And same with the worst team in baseball, who's half a game behind them. The Detroit Tigers. Through 60 games, you're 22-38. I mean, that is awful. 367 winning percentage, and you're 11.5 back of the Guardians. I mean, this Detroit Tigers, I know you've had Scooble hurt and everyone on your team hurt. Like, you're battling a lot of injuries right now. I get it. I won't beat a dead horse, but you're still a bad team. And even if you are healthy, you're probably just hovering around closer to the Twins than you are the White Sox and the Guardians right now. Like, I just think this roster had problems from the get-go that they didn't really address. Like, I think they were kind of just banking on the same team doing what they did last season and not ignoring some of the flaws they had that got them eliminated from the playoffs. But the injuries surely aren't helping. The impending Scooble potential trade this year, like, they might have to trade Scooble at this deadline. I don't know, but Tigers are a mess right now. They're at last place in the division. They'll be an interesting team to watch, though, going forward, only because I think that it'll be interesting to see if they trade Scooble or not. Like, that's it. Like, I'm going to be watching them to see, like, how often are they winning or losing just in relation to, you know, is Scooble going to get moved at the deadline? Now we're going to be talking about the worst division in baseball, in my opinion. It's this absolutely pointing over here. There we go. My camera's flipped. I was pointing over here. It's the AL West. It's a terrible AL West. I mean, the Mariners are leading this division at 2 games over 500. They're 500 on the road, 2 games over at home, as you can see, 31-29 through their first 60 games. I mean, they're lucky. They're lucky they're in a bad division. I'm going to say this about every team but the Angels, because this division is somehow still kind of tight through 4 teams just because everyone's bad. I mean, it doesn't really matter who wins this division. They're not going to do anything in the playoffs unless some team just drastically starts getting hot over the course of the next 2 months. I mean, some major strides need to be made, but you know, really quickly, nothing too much to say about all these teams. They're all kind of mediocre, and the Angels are just really, really bad. As I said, Mariners 31-29. They lead the division. 2.5 games behind them, you got the Athletics at 28-31. Then behind them, you got the Texas Rangers at 28-31 as well. I guess not behind. Well, technically behind them, but also tied. Looks like Athletics have the tiebreaker here. So the Rangers technically in 3rd place with the same record. And then 2 games behind both of those teams in 4th place is the Houston Astros. They're 27-34, 4.5 back of the Mariners. A team that cannot pitch. The Houston Astros, I think, are terrible at pitching. Their offense, I feel like, is just meh. And somehow it's 7 games under 500. They're still competitive in this division. I mean, the Astros could make moves in this division. They really could. Like, I think they could go out at the deadline maybe. I thought they would trade Jordan. If they stay competitive in this, they might actually try to go out and get a pitcher or a bat. I don't know. They've thrown a no-hitter, which is cool. That was a good sign for the pitching, even though, like I said, I don't have faith in their pitching a lot. But maybe this Astros team can make a jump. I don't know. It feels like they have some pieces, some veteran pieces who've been there, done that. They had a couple guys, who knows. But Astros, I don't like them, but they're a very interesting team to me because of how bad their division is. And then in the basement of it all, 23-37, you got the Los Angeles Angels. God help Mike Trout, man. He's so loyal to Anaheim, and I feel so bad for him and Anaheim because he can't win with the Angels, or he's not going to see success with the Angels. The Angels aren't going to see success with Trout. It's a toxic relationship. One of them needs to break it off. It is just, it's not going to happen. So Mike Trout, I hope you get traded. I don't think you will because of how much you're making, but it would be, I think, great for the game if you did, because both I think that would get the Angels to start to be better, and I think that would get Mike Trout to have some, success in the postseason or even a berth in the postseason. I mean, we saw what happened with Ohtani. He better not go to the Dodgers, though. I swear, if that man went to the Dodgers, I'd be heartbroken. I don't think he ever would, but if he did, I'd be heartbroken. Moving on next, we're going to talk about the National League East. The Atlanta Braves are 40-20. They're the only 40-win team in baseball. They are the best team in baseball. I don't think they were the best team in the month of May. I think that was the Brewers, in my opinion. But as overall best team in baseball, just as a whole, I think it clearly goes to the Atlanta Braves. Then beneath them, a very whopping 9 games back, but still that's a little skewed because, yes, they're 9 games back, but the fact that the Washington Nationals are 2 games over 500, I think is impressive. I said at the beginning of the season, I thought the Nationals were a very interesting team. I mean, would you be surprised to know if when I tell you right now that they've scored more runs than any team in baseball, but have also given up the second most runs in baseball? I mean, talk about they have a negative run differential and they've scored the most runs in the league. They've scored 327 runs and they've given up 330. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. The Washington Nationals are such, talk about a team that if they just made some moves for some pitchers would be a dominant force. I mean, imagine if the Nationals just had a real good ace added to their squad. They're not going to go out and get Paul Skeens, but imagine you add a Paul Skeens, Jacob Mizorowski level pitcher to this Nationals team. I know it's only 1 in every 5 games, but damn, man, it helps out and that could close that gap. But 2 games over 500, way back in the standings are the Nationals. Then a half a game behind them are the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 1 game over 500. They haven't been a great home team. They're 2 games under 500 at home right now, but on the road, they're 3 games over. Been a very good road team. I think they've been such a better baseball team, one of the hottest teams in the league since getting Don Mattingly in their corner. I mean, as their manager, they've been a different team, and it's been really fun to watch. Then you got the New York Mets, who are finally out of last place in that division. I didn't know if it would ever happen, but it did. At least for a brief moment, they can say that they're not the worst team in the National League East, record-wise at least. They're 26-33. They're 13 and a half games back of the Braves. And then a half a game below them at 14 games back are the Miami Marlins, who are 26-34. Tied with wins for the Mets, but they got 1 more loss. And now we're going to move on. Or actually, I'll end with the best division in baseball. We'll slide on over to the AL West first, which is a very interesting division. Very fun division to watch. A very compelling division as always. Especially when this division is deep, it is very fun to watch. When at least 3 of these teams are battling for a playoff spot, it's such a fun division to watch because I just think all these West Coast rivalries are so good. The Dodgers, obviously, I'm a big Dodger hater. I'm sorry. They lead the division at 38-21. They got a .644 winning percentage. Padres, 5.5 games behind them at 32-26. Fernando Tatis Jr. finally hit a home run for you baseball fans out there who have been waiting for that. He's been on a homerless streak. He finally hit one this weekend. Welcome, Fernando Tatis Jr. to the home run club. Then beneath that, very interesting. I talked about him earlier with Ildemaro Vargas having a great year. The Arizona Diamondbacks, 4 games over 500, 6.5 games out of the division lead at 31-27. The Arizona Diamondbacks, I think, are a very, very interesting team to watch. Ketel Marte, phenomenal player. Corbin Carroll has been having a stellar year. They got some solid arms on the mound, too. I mean, their pitching has definitely been weaker than their hitting, but, Eduardo Rodriguez, Zach Gallen, Mike Soroka, they got some guys who've been throwing decent for them, Merrill Kelly, and then below them, San Francisco Giants. This is where the division is kind of this is where you stop paying attention to the NL West. This is just these 3 teams up here. I can kind of do it with my hand, actually. These 3 teams up here make it fun. the two teams down here just kind of fill out the last two spots. Giants, 23-36, 390 winning percentage, just so ugly. Such a poor team. I can't believe the Pirates lost the series to them. Giants are 15 games back of the Dodgers. And then finally back in last place. They were out of it for a while, but to start June, they're back in the basement where they tend to find themselves. It's the Colorado Rockies at 22-38 through their first 60 games of the season, tied with the Detroit Tigers or actually a little bit worse than the Detroit Tigers. This is technically the worst team in baseball record-wise now, actually. It was the Detroit Tigers for a while. Now it's the Rockies. But like I said, top three teams in this division I think are going to be very fun to watch, and it's going to be a dogfight going down the stretch for who wins this division. And the Giants and Rockies, they're there to have fun. So now we are going to move on to the last division, my favorite division because my Pirates are in it. The one I'm the most knowledgeable about, the one I've been following the closest, and just a scary division. I mean, like I said, all of these teams in the month of May or in the month of June now, are still over 500. I mean, that's unheard of. I feel like I don't really see that happen often. So we're going to start at the top. My best team in the month of May, which was the Milwaukee Brewers. They are 35-21, a .625 winning percentage. They've been a great team. I broke them down a little bit earlier. So I'll move down now to the St. Louis Cardinals. They're 31-26. They're 4.5 games back. And honestly, these standings are this today. These standings have been changing so much. It's unreal. I mean, tomorrow, or like in 3 days, it'll probably be totally different, as in a lot of these other divisions will maintain some consistency. These standings have been absolutely insane. So Cardinals for now are just 4.5 games back of the Brewers, 5 games over 500. Then you got the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are technically tied with the Cubs for third place, but do hold the head-to-head tiebreakers. So technically, if the season were to end today, the Pirates would have sole possession of third place in the league. They are 32-28, 4 games over 500. They are 5 games back of the Brewers. And as I said, they are leading that division in runs scored at 301. And then we got the team that we're going to be putting on blast for the State of the Union here right after this, the Chicago Cubs, 32-28, 5 games back, just like the Pirates. I'll save everything I have to say about them for this next topic here shortly. And then finally, the Cincinnati Reds, who, yeah, they're in the basement of the division, but 2 games over. I mean, in any standard division, like in most of these divisions here in the league right now, 2 games over 500 is going to put you at least in like second or third place with how weak some of these divisions are. So they're in the basement right now, but I wouldn't say they're a terrible team. I mean, at the very start of the season, like first couple weeks, I thought, I thought the Reds would be better than this. They don't look so hot, but as baseball does, it tells you, hey, you don't know shit. Like, you got to watch this team play 162 times to even have a decent idea about how good they are. And as the season went on, I realized that the Reds are a pretty solid team, but they're just in an absolute bloodbath of a division. I mean, you see the standings. I don't got to tell it to you. This is a really good division, and the records at the start of June are just, they're good. So that was the MLB Standings Check In. And now that we're done with that, we're going to be moving on to the 7th topic. I know this has been a little bit of a long episode. I've been rambling a bit much, but hey, I'm live. I got a lot to say. I'm having fun with it. I'll try to go quick here with these last few things. It's the State of the Union. It's the Chicago Cubs. Where do we start? Cubs fans, if you're watching, no, this isn't just out of hate because I'm a Pirates fan. I know that may be how it seems because we have the same record as you right now. So you could say, oh, well, shouldn't your team be on here? Well, my team didn't just lose 10 straight games. Now, granted, the Cubs have been better since coming off their 10-game losing streak. I mean, they eventually broke the losing streak in the 3rd game of the series against Pittsburgh. And then since breaking the losing streak, including the win that broke the losing streak, they're 3-2. And with what schedule they have coming up, the State of the Union is kind of like a smack on the side of the head to the Cubs. Like, you better lock in, figure it out, and get in shape. And here's what I mean by that. They have 3 games against the Athletics, then 3 against the Giants, then 3 against the Rockies, then 3 against the Giants, then 3 against the Rockies. That's 15 straight games against teams who are below 500. The Cubs currently sit at 4 games over. If they don't win at least 10 of their next 15 games, like, that's going to be the big thing for them. Like, if they are able to push through the pitching injuries, and because, like I said, it's not like this is Chicago's fault, right? I'm not saying, Chicago, like, all your pitchers are injured. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I am trying to say is they need to do everything in their power to make sure that those injuries don't catch up to them, you know? Like, that's the big thing here for Chicago. Because, like I said, 15 straight games against teams who are below 500, 6 against the Giants, 6 against the Rockies, 3 against the Athletics. Realistically, you should go 2-1 in every single one of those series. You should go at least 10-5. Like, you shouldn't lose any of those series. I can't stress this enough. If the Cubs drop some of these series, it's panic time, because that means either the offense is starting to not be able to support your pitching staff, or on the flip side, it now means that the pitching staff is so, like, the injuries have caught up to them so much that now the offensive production that was able to get it done for you over the course of these win streaks is just not able to get it done for you anymore. And that means you're going to start losing more and more games. So we all know you need to be able to beat the bad teams. Let's see if Chicago beats the bad teams this week, because during their 10-game losing streak, I mean, 2 of those were to the White Sox, who we've established as a pretty decent team, but also a beatable team. 3 straight losses to Milwaukee. That's how that goes, but you were at home, so you should have won one of those. And then you had 3 straight against Houston at home. You lost all 3 of those. That's a team that is absolutely terrible at pitching, and you only managed to put up 2. You got shut out once. I mean, I get the Houston pitching staff is heated up a little bit, but you still shouldn't be getting shut out. And then, they gave up 12 runs in a game to Pittsburgh for their 10th straight loss. Obviously, they bounced back by scoring 10, and then they had their 6th run against the Cardinals, and they lost 5-6 against the Cardinals, which was rough. But the Chicago Cubs need to be able to win at least 2/3 of these next games for me to think they're going to be a threat. Because if they lose 8 of their next 15 games, they go under 500 in this stretch, I'm panicking if I'm a Cubs fan. I'm panicking if I'm a Cubs fan if during this stretch you go under 500. So next 15 games, even though they might not look scary, I think are going to be very big and very pivotal games for the Chicago Cubs. So those are my takes on the State of the Union for the Chicago Cubs. They're not terrible anymore. The 10-game winning streak was terrible. They lost the division. You saw those memes of how to lose a division in 10 games. That was playing off like the how to lose a guy in 10 days thing. That I saw a meme of like PCA on that movie poster, which I thought was really funny because, division rival. But they were really bad for that stretch. I think they've started to find their mojo again a little bit here against the Pirates and the Cardinals, but they need to be able to pick it up over the course of the next 15 games. If they don't, it's just, sorry, Chicago. It might not be your season if you're not able to do that. But we are going to move on now to our next topic, which is another staple. It's not the big popular State of the Union that everybody loves, but, we give some love to it. It's the 3 studs of the week. It's not the big flashy State of the Union. It's a quick little, here we go, here who I think the 3 best players were this week. But it's important to do. I mean, like I said, giving out these awards, week to week, every month. I know this is a double awards episode, which, happens whenever the month ends, but we got to talk about it. So my first player of the week is actually going to go to Ben Rice on the Yankees, which, I mean, he's been playing really well as of late. I mean, his season numbers so far, he's batting .306. He's got 17 home runs, 60 hits over the course of his 190 at-bats. I mean, he's having an absolutely phenomenal season. He's been hitting the cover off the ball this week for the Yankees, which has been very important for that Yankees team, keeping them very tight in that divisional race against the Rays. And actually, since you're here, the standings have updated a little bit. I'll give you some tidbits of what have happened throughout the game of baseball since I've started recording. Tigers, hey, they won a game. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 10-9. Worst team in the AL beats the best. Marlins take down the Nationals. Royals beat the Reds. Brewers hang 16 on the Giants. If that doesn't show you that the Cubs need to win these games, I don't know what does, because the Brewers were just able to put up 16 runs on the Giants. So Cubs should be able to do something similar. And then the Cardinals lost 2-1. So actually very good day for Pirates fans like me, because a whole lot of the division lost aside from, Milwaukee, who continues to win. That actually moves the Pirates tied with St. Louis now for 5.5 games back in that division. So that's a little standings update for you. But yeah, Ben Rice, absolutely phenomenal. His OPS plus right now is 192. And if you don't know, the average OPS plus for the average hitter is 100. Like, that's like baseline. So that's like 192 is very, very, very good. I mean, he's in the upper echelon of OPSs right now with that 1.056. Ben Rice, absolutely phenomenal. He's my small stud of the week. My medium stud of the week is going to go to Jacob Misiorowski, the Miz. This is a guy who's like, this is one of those unique cases where it's like, it's a player who I only ever root against because he's a division rival. Jacob Misiorowski looks like a great guy, like a fun guy to be around. I think Jacob Misiorowski is very nice guy. I would love to see him succeed, but I just am forced to root against him because he's on the Brewers. But I actually really like him as a player. I mean, he had a start on the 31st and a start on the 25th, 20 strikeouts combined between those starts, only 1 walk and 1 earned run, surrendered 5 hits over the course of the 14 innings he pitched, no home runs given up. I mean, just a shutdown week. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that out of a starting pitcher, but if you were to, it would be our big stud of the week, who I already talked about a lot earlier, so I won't ramble about him too much right now. He was our mound maestro. It's Christopher Sanchez. I mean, Christopher Sanchez just continues to be good. I gave you the numbers earlier. He hasn't given up a run in the month of May. He had a start on the 27th and a start on the 22nd. He gave up 10 hits over 15 innings, but no runs, obviously. Only 2 walks, 15 strikeouts. I mean, he's just been dominant. And I know the numbers may look a little bit better for Misiorowski, but the reason I give the big stud to Sanchez over Misiorowski is just because of the fact that, like, this is a continuance of something great for Christopher Sanchez. Like, the fact that he just kept the scoreless inning streak going through this last week of the month, like, having that streak for him, I think just made it weigh a little bit more for me in the voting. So that's why I gave it to Christopher Sanchez over Miz. So small stud of the week, it's Ben Rice. Medium stud of the week is the Miz. And the big stud of the week, who is also the mound maestro of May, is Christopher Sanchez. And now we're reaching the summit. We're finally at the bottom of the order, or at the peak of the mountain, however you want to look at it. My screen's going blue because my webcam settings are different on this computer, so that's just great. But it's time for your takes. If you want to drop something in the comments, or if you haven't already, do it now. I haven't gotten to look at the chat too much during this. I've been all over the place, new to doing it live. So I'll look at some comments, see some takes. If you have one, drop them in there. So got one right here. I think this is how you do it. Yeah, Ben Cruz. Rams might go undefeated. Now, you put the LMAO after it. It does sound a little bit joking. I get it. But at the same time, I can get behind this. I mean, I'll pull it up right now. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm going to pull up the Rams schedule real quick. I'll see if I find a loss on here. I mean, they Australia, honestly, that one could kind of go either way with being overseas. But for the benefit of the doubt, we'll give it to the Rams. Rams probably beat the Giants. Broncos on the road will be really tough. That could have been the Super Bowl last year. That could be a loss for the Rams. I think they beat the Eagles and the Bills and the Cardinals and the Raiders and the Chargers and the Commanders and the Cardinals and the Packers. I think they beat the Chiefs. They probably beat the Niners again. They beat the Cowboys. So the two games that I'm looking at that I think might be losses for the Rams are Christmas Day in Seattle and then the third week in Denver. Those are the two games I look at right now where I'm like, if the Rams win those two games, nothing's stopping them. Now, what hurts them, nothing stops them from going undefeated. Now, what hurts them is the fact that on the back end of this, in the last 3 weeks, you got to play Seattle twice. Now, if that defense is still how it was last year, next year come wintertime, it's going to be tough for the Rams to beat them twice. I mean, hopefully they beat them at home January 10th, but they got to play them twice in 15 days. That's rough. Christmas Day in Seattle, that's going to be a crazy game. I bet a lot of eyes are going to be on that game. It'll be fun to watch. But yeah, those are the only two losses I think potentially I could find for the Rams. Let's see what my boy Callan McClurg has got here. Giants never should have hired Vitello. Padres offense continues to suck, and somehow you're in second place. I mean, that's just the enigma that is the NL West, right? I mean, it's such a competitive division right now. I mean, I agree the Giants never should have hired Vitello, but I think that is more a validated take with like the retrospective that we have now. Like, I think going into it, it was actually very interesting to just go out and take a chance on a college coach. I mean, a lot of guys will say that's the wrong move, but I think a lot of that was because the fact that it had never happened before. So everyone just assumes, oh, because it's never happened before, then it's probably not the right thing to do. But, you know, at the end of the day, they did it. It's not working out super well for them right now. But do I think Vitello should get fired this year? No. I think because of this, he should actually have a little bit of room to grow. I mean, he saw success at Tennessee. I think maybe just like a guy getting called up, like maybe he needs a year to adjust to the new level. Like, I wouldn't be calling for his head yet if I'm a Giants fan, but I obviously understand everyone who's upset with the hiring. And with the Padres, it's absolutely hilarious. Like, the fact that, like, your pitching is fantastic. Like, and I don't watch that much Padres ball, so I can't say, all right, day in, day out, like, this is how they're winning their games. I don't watch them that much, but, you know, they've been a little worse as of late, lost their last 2, 3-7 in their last 10. But that's the thing, like, with the Padres not being that good right now, with just the quality, like, the quality of teams overall throughout the entire league, I think is down this year. The teams who are good are very, very good, but I think there's 10 good teams now. I think there are 20 teams who are pretty like meh. Maybe it's more like 13 teams who are pretty good and 17 who are like or bad. But I just think there are more bad teams in the league than good teams right now. So it's easy for like a middle ground team like the Padres with star talent who's looking to be one of those great teams. It makes me understand more why you're in second place. Because obviously you get to play the Giants and the Rockies more than other teams. Those are two teams who you always need to beat up on. They've seemed to do pretty well against the Dodgers in recent years. Not in the postseason, but in the regular season, they have been winning games against the Dodgers. So keeping it close that way is obviously important. And then when you're going up against Arizona, you just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, they're a very solid team, but they're definitely middle ground. And I think the Padres will probably fall in the third soon, but I don't think that will be because of them being bad. I think Arizona's just about to really go on a surge here. And then, wrong computer. I was moving a mouse on the wrong computer. And then we'll go other NFL moves I could see happening this offseason. Who still needs a home? I'm trying to think. Like, it feels like a lot of things I was looking to happen are kind of getting tidied up. I honestly would have said something about Russell Wilson if he hadn't gone to CBS. Like, I was really waiting on a Russell Wilson move that we never got. I mean, maybe like, I don't know exactly to like the letter what the Stephon Diggs situation is right now in New England, but I would probably say that, like, I don't know, maybe like Stephon Diggs could get like traded to the Raiders or something for like another target for Mendoza. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like maybe like a sneaky wide receiver move that could get made. Like I said, though, I don't really know how the Diggs situation is in New England right now, but yeah, maybe something like that. I mean, honestly, it's very interesting. I don't think the Giants will pick up any more wide receivers, but it would be interesting to see if the Giants try to go out and make another move this offseason, just like a very small piece. I think it would be neat to see. And then last but not least, my pops commenting on my show. Love to see it in here. He hates emotion in baseball, so I'm not surprised by this take he's got. College baseball players' celebrations are out of control. There have been a lot of guys on the mound recently that I've seen that just go absolutely ballistic whenever like they get a strikeout, they do good or bad, whatever it may be. It really has been like a lot recently in college baseball specifically, which I don't really know why. I don't know if that's just the emotion like that is just in baseball right now. If these guys are so hopped up on smelling salts or whatever they take to get themselves ready to go out and pitch in college that they just feel that amped up. If it means that much, if that's just the state the game's at now, I don't know what it is, but it is very insane. Like when this energy starts to get to the league, I bet we'll start having discussions about baseball ethics again, like we did in the Tony La Russa and Yermin Mercedes days when he swung 3-0 and hit a home run. Like I feel like once this level of energy gets back into baseball, like this pure, like everyone like yelling and screaming, pitchers yelling into their glove, getting all mad, like walking off the mound, showing up the hitter. I mean, it'll call the baseball ethics conversation into question again. And I think that's just how it's going to go. So those were your guys' takes. And I know I promised a top 10. I did. But because this episode is already running long, we're already past 11, I'm going to do a little compromise. There's going to be no top 10 this week. Next week, you get a top 20. Yeah, how about that? So because the episode is run long, because I talked a lot about these topics earlier in the episode, I'm going to cut it here without the top 10. And next week, you guys get a top 20 on the second live show of Givin Takes. But yeah, that now concludes the first live episode of Givin Takes. I mean, I did it. We're done. We went live. We did 11 weeks where we were studio recorded it and I edited the whole shebang, all that pre-recorded, did the quick turnaround. And now here we are, probably like 13 weeks in because I skipped a week, but episode 12. And we're live. We did it. And a big reason to that, obviously, is thanks to everyone at the Empty the Bench Network, especially, Nick, Callan. Those guys helped me out a lot in the transition, and obviously just being on the other live shows I'm on, like Hitting for the Cycle and Unnecessary Wagers, which you can obviously catch me on Unnecessary Wagers Fridays at 5 and Givin Takes Thursdays at 8:30. Just getting in that live format, getting to understand how the software works a little bit and everything, just getting accustomed to that helped me make the transition to live. And now we're a live show. I'm excited to continue to experiment with this format, see how much I can do on here, how much I can stretch the boundaries creatively for the product I want to be able to put out. I think it's very, very fun. I'm looking forward to growing on this platform and my expertise getting better. And thank you all. I've had like 150 plus viewers, and this show's been going on for an hour and a half. Like, absolutely amazing that many of you have just sat here and listened to me talk about sports for 90 straight minutes. It means a lot. I absolutely love the support. It means more than you know. I really appreciate it. You see the ticker at the bottom. You know where to follow me. And I really hope you all come back next week and you like the show. Like I said, we're going to be doing this Mondays at 9:30 for now. Whenever we get closer to football season, I think I'll be switching this show to a Tuesday night show, but that's still a couple months down the road. We don't got to worry about that. But you'll be able to catch me here next week, 9:30 p.m. Got more topics to talk about. I'm going to be a little bit better about managing the time, and I'm going to give you a top 20 next week to make up for my top 10 that we didn't have this week. So with all that being said, I really appreciate all the comments, all the viewers, everyone getting involved with the live stream. I hope to see you all here next week. And I've been Nate Miller. Those were my takes.